Women's football lives by the same rules as men's, but the bigger part of football fans still feel skeptical about it. So today we urge you to give it a chance, as this video is going to be about the most incredible moments of women's football. But before we get into it, we would like to ask you a question. Which stadium holds the record for the biggest women's football attendance ever? Nou Camp, Wembley, the Emirates, Wanda Metropolitano. Feel free to leave your answers in the comments, and now get ready for watching. It's time to get started. Let's start with this amusing incident. What happened during the Australia-Equatorial Guinea match is really hard to explain. The Australia player made a cross into the box, her teammate took a shot and hit the bar, and then the Equatorial Guinea defender Bruma picked up the ball and left it for the goalkeeper a moment later. What in the world was that? Well, you tell us. The most amazing thing about this story is that Bruma got away without even a yellow card. Despite all the objections from the Australia players, no penalty was given as the game continued with a goal kick. If you think Pepe is the most brutal footballer in the world, we suggest you to take a look at Elizabeth Lambert and what this woman does to her opponents. Got elbowed in the stomach? No problem. Here comes a punch in the back. Fed up with a diving opponent? Give her a couple of kicks just in front of the referee. And here Elizabeth must have forgotten she was playing football. First she made a clearance and then gave her opponent a series of punches to the face. And in this case, even Zlatan Ibrahimovic wouldn't feel safe about his ponytail. Just look at this dirty trick by Elizabeth. We think you've now seen enough to understand that this woman is one not to mess with. The Ballon d'Or winner Megan Rapinoe fell down on the pitch after a tackle from Becca Moros. The referee didn't hesitate to give a whistle, but Becca was still unhappy with her decision, so she fell down, mocking Megan Rapinoe's dive. And that wasn't just a coincidence, as Rapinoe is basically the Neymar of women's football, so it's no wonder that Megan's opponents have long been done with her diving. However, in this particular case, we have to admit that it was an obvious foul and the referee made the right call. Finland played Sweden in the Euro 2022 qualifiers. They needed a win, but the scores were still level 95 minutes in. Very late into the game, the Swedes' mistake resulted in Amanda Rantanen going one-on-one with the keeper. She went for a lob, but the shot hit the keeper instead, ricocheted straight to Amanda's face and then into the back of the net. All of a sudden, the Finnish striker burst into tears while celebrating her goal. Many thought she was crying and holding her face because she was hit by the ball, but it was that she had just won the first place in the group for her national team, ahead of Portugal. Looking ahead, it was just the beginning of a successful campaign for Finland, as they later won 3 consecutive games and qualified for the European Championship for the first time in their history. Now let's go back to the funny side of women's football. 53 minutes in, the Australia goalkeeper got an injury and the other players were having a cooling break. Kellen Knight passed the bottle of water to Lisa Devonna so she could quench her thirst. But it wasn't that simple. Lisa tried to drink from the wrong side of the bottle. Luckily, her teammate was still there to help her. And this Spain striker was probably possessed by Timo Werner, as she had an open goal in front of her after the keeper's mistake, but still smashed it way off target. However, all the puddles on the waterlogged pitch might have had their impact on her shot and become the reason for such a shocking miss. The Ukrainian woman Natia Pansulaya can give Elizabeth Lambert a run for her money. 87 minutes in, the Northern Ireland national team were 1-0 ahead against Ukraine, and Natia saw her opponent closing down on her. But instead of passing it back to the keeper, Natia deliberately bumped into her opponent. It's either she had had enough of that game or she just got mad, but what happened is that she saw a red card a moment later. Now try to recall the worst defender you've ever seen. Many of you might think of the 2020 Arsenal side, so have a look at the women's version of the Gunners' notorious defense. First, Marisa Evers made a very strange decision as she let the ball run through her legs while having the City player, Georgia Stanway, right behind her. The keeper, caught completely off guard, failed to make a clearance and gave away an easy goal for the citizens. Less than 10 minutes later, Natalie Hay made a poor back pass, and once again the goalkeeper had too little time to react, which resulted in yet another conceded goal. This story took place in the Jordanian league game. The player's hijab slipped off her head. She immediately kneeled down to put it back, while the rivals surrounded her so that nobody on the stadium could see her hair. Once she fixed her hijab, her opponents got back to the game as the fans, delighted with such a display of sportsmanship, gave them a round of applause. In case some of you have already seen these amusing one-in-a-billion moment, here's another story of that kind that happened in women's football. The Netherlands played Australia and Jill Roord fell down as Alexis got stuck in Hayley Raso's boot. The two players seemed to find that unusual incident very funny, though they needed some time to get back to the game. Luckily, they didn't need any help, and the game soon continued. The Champions League final, Barcelona vs Chelsea. Sounds like a setup for a fantastic game, but it all went terribly wrong for Chelsea right from the start. 20 seconds in, the Barca striker cuts inside and hits the bar, but the Blaugrana attack is not over yet. The Barca player passes it into the box, and the mess inside the Chelsea penalty area results in Frank Kirby's clearance attempt hitting her teammate, and the ball finds the back of the net off Melanie Leopold's knees. Barcelona are jubilant, and the Blues players are shocked. They're 1-0 down only 35 seconds in. That game ended with a 4-0 defeat for the English side, while Melanie Martinez went down in history with her own goal, the earliest in the Champions League history. Now to something completely inexplicable. It seems like the ball is about to end up in the back of the net after the poor clearance attempt by the keeper. Luckily, it lands in the center of the 6-yard box, and the defender has plenty of time to deal with that. But what was that? What she did was too hard to explain, as she literally smashed it inside her own open goal. But after all, everyone makes mistakes, so we suggest you to take a look at this moment of pure creativity from Notts County, as this goal can match the most iconic free kicks you can think of. The Notts County players tricked their opponents from Arsenal, who were too confused to find out who was about to take a shot, while the striker White made the most out of that mess and found the net. It looks like all the Notts County set-piece routine was totally worth it. Now to some really terrible goalkeeping. Shout out to poor old Loris Karius. It seems as if the goalkeeper forgot she could use her hands, so the ball went past her into the back of the net. Many of you can recall medical staff doing strange things while taking a player away from the pitch. Such stories also happen in women's football. The medics were there in a blink of an eye and placed the injured player on a stretcher, but this man could do with a stronger grip. He fell down and actually sat on the woman. Just look at this player's reaction. It's perfectly understandable, to say the least. This story teaches us never to make a woman angry. A fan invaded the pitch. He was filming everything and shouting something obscene. The Chelsea footballer Sam Kerr didn't fancy the intruder's behavior. He was getting on her nerves, so she slammed into him with all her strength. It was enough to calm him down as the stewards took him away, but the referee in turn didn't like what she saw from Sam and showed her a yellow card. Now to yet another iconic moment. Even if you have already seen it, we hope you don't mind us showing it again. Barcelona were playing the Lithuanian side Gintra in the Champions League round of 16. The Barca goalkeeper's mistake let 3 Gintra players end up in front of the open goal. But something went wrong as they somehow managed to trip over each other and send the ball wide in the end. Each of these girls wanted to score against the Champions League winners a bit too much, and all they got was a humiliating 6-0 defeat. As you can see, women's football is no less and sometimes even more intense than men's, and that is why we decided to make this video. All these amazing and amusing stories are just too good to remain unnoticed, as we might never see anything of that kind in men's football. And which one of them did you like the most? Dear friends, feel free to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button if you enjoyed our videos. as that will help its promotion and allow you to get a notification once our new video is out. That's it for today, but there's a bunch of other videos we have on our channel, so don't hesitate to check them out.